Imagine this: you're sitting in an interview, and your heart is racing. The pressure is on, and you're thinking, what if I mess up? You're not alone. In fact, 70% of people experience interview anxiety, according to the American Psychological Association. But what if I told you that you can actually use this nervous energy to your advantage? Shocking, right? You have more control over the situation than you think. The truth is, job interviews are as much about strategy as they are about your qualifications. What you say and how you say it can make or break your chances. In fact, studies show that nonverbal cues like your body language can influence 60 to 70% of an interviewer's decision. That means if you're not aware of how you're presenting yourself, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. This video will give you the tools to ace any interview, no matter the questions. We'll cover everything from mastering your mindset to answering tough questions with confidence, all while using simple techniques backed by research. By the end of this, you'll not only feel more confident, but you'll also know how to impress your interviewer with ease. Stay tuned for strategies that will transform the way you approach job interviews, turning what could be a nerve-wracking experience into an opportunity to shine. Chapter 1: Mindset Makeover. Shift from nervous to confident when preparing for an interview. The first thing you need to do is shift your mindset. According to psychology professor Amy Cuddy, adopting power poses can drastically improve your confidence. Just standing tall with your hands on your hips for 2 minutes can actually lower stress and increase feelings of power. That's because your body language can influence how you feel about yourself. Many job candidates sabotage their chances by focusing too much on the what ifs. What if they ask something I don't know? What if they don't like me? Instead of these worries, focus on the facts. You're qualified, you've prepared, and you're ready. Research shows that people who see themselves as capable perform better. So, before your interview, remind yourself, I can handle anything they throw at me. Visualization is another powerful tool. Spend a few minutes before your interview visualizing yourself answering questions with ease. The brain doesn't distinguish between a real event and one you vividly imagine. By mentally rehearsing, you train yourself to stay calm and poised when the real interview happens. Think about this: studies show that nervousness before an interview can negatively impact your performance. It affects your memory, body language, and even speech. But here's the kicker: by controlling your nerves with positive self-talk, you can completely change your brain's response. Try saying, I am prepared, and I am the best candidate for this job. This will boost your confidence and set a positive tone for the interview. As soon as you walk into the interview room, do a quick mental check-in. Take a deep breath and remind yourself that you have the skills and experience to succeed. The more you practice these confidence-boosting techniques, the more natural they'll become. Before long, you'll walk into any interview with the assurance that you can ace it, no matter what they ask. Chapter 2: The Art of Storytelling. Crafting killer responses. Storytelling isn't just for novelists or movie directors. It's a skill that can make you stand out in any interview. The best interview answers are those that tell a story. For example, if they ask, tell me about a time when you solved a problem, don't just state the facts. Paint a picture. Describe the challenge, your actions, and the outcome. The STAR method, situation, task, action, result, is a great framework to structure your answers. A study from the Harvard Business Review found that interviewers are more likely to remember responses that are framed as stories. When you can explain a situation clearly and show how you handled it, you leave a lasting impression. Now, think about how you can bring emotion into your stories. Research shows that emotions are powerful memory triggers. If you share a story with passion, about overcoming a challenge, for instance, it becomes much more memorable. Just make sure the emotion aligns with the context. Excitement over a project's success works, but frustration or anger should only be used when discussing challenges or setbacks. In addition to telling a good story, make sure your answers stay relevant. Tailor your stories to match the company's values and job requirements. For instance, if the company values teamwork, share a story that highlights your ability to collaborate effectively. If they prioritize innovation, tell a story about a time you introduced a creative solution. Remember, brevity is key. Keep your stories concise and avoid overloading your answer with unnecessary details. A good rule of thumb is to make sure your response doesn't exceed 2 minutes. Too much information can overwhelm the interviewer. Instead, focus on the key points that show you're the best fit for the role. Chapter 3: The Unexpected Question Hack. Turning curveballs into triumphs. One of the biggest challenges in an interview is dealing with those unexpected curveball questions. You know, the ones that catch you off guard. If you were an animal, what would you be? Or tell me your biggest weakness. These questions often seem irrelevant, but in reality, they are designed to see how you handle pressure and think on your feet. The best way to respond to these curveballs is to stay calm and take a moment to think. Don't rush into an answer. According to research from the University of Chicago, the pause is crucial for making a thoughtful, strategic response. It gives your brain a moment to process and formulate an answer that won't make you sound flustered. Another great strategy is to turn the question into a chance to highlight your strengths. For example, if asked, "What's your biggest weakness?" you can say something like, "I tend to be a perfectionist, which sometimes means I spend extra time ensuring every detail is right. However, I've learned to balance that by setting deadlines for myself to ensure efficiency." When faced with questions like, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" it's tempting to give a vague or overly ambitious answer. But instead, show that you've thought about your growth. Talk about how you plan to develop your skills in the context of the company. This signals that you're committed to growing with the organization. In fact, Gallup research shows that employees who feel they have growth opportunities are more engaged and less likely to leave. Always remember that the key to answering unexpected questions is adaptability. Rather than trying to guess what they're looking for, focus on how you can demonstrate your flexibility and ability to handle whatever comes your way. The most successful candidates are those who can stay composed under pressure and respond thoughtfully, no matter how odd the question seems. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips and strategies that will help you ace every interview. Chapter 4, Nonverbal Mastery. Speak without words. Did you know that a huge part of communication happens without you even speaking? Nonverbal communication can make or break your interview. According to Albert Mehrabian's research, up to 93% of communication is nonverbal, meaning your body language, facial expressions, and tone matter a lot. Start with a firm handshake. It's one of the simplest but most powerful ways to make a positive first impression. A study from the University of Iowa found that interviewers rated candidates who gave a strong handshake as more confident and competent. But don't overdo it, too strong can come off as aggressive. Aim for a balance that feels natural. Your posture also plays a huge role. Sit up straight with your shoulders back. According to a study by Harvard Business School, posture affects how both you and the interviewer perceive you. Good posture exudes confidence, while slouching can suggest disinterest or insecurity. Remember, your body is speaking even when your mouth isn't. Next, focus on eye contact. A study from the National Institute of Health found that eye contact shows confidence, trustworthiness, and attentiveness. When you maintain good eye contact, it signals that you are engaged and confident in what you're saying. But don't stare, find a balance. Too little eye contact can make you appear disconnected, while too much can feel intimidating. Pay attention to your facial expressions, too. Smiling naturally not only makes you seem approachable but also helps you feel more relaxed. Research from the University of Kansas found that people who smiled during an interview were more likely to get the job offer. Your facial expression should align with the conversation. If you're discussing something serious, tone down the smile but keep your face engaged. Finally, watch your hands. Fidgeting with a pen or tapping your foot can show nervousness. Instead, keep your hands visible and use them to emphasize key points. This helps you come across as open and confident. In fact, studies show that people who use hand gestures while talking are often seen as more persuasive. By mastering nonverbal communication, you can amplify your message and make a more lasting impression during the interview. It's the silent language that speaks volumes about who you are and how well you fit with the company. Chapter 5, The Power of Why-Us? The game changer question. One of the most overlooked parts of an interview is the moment when the interviewer asks, "Do you have any questions for us?" While it may seem like a formality, this is actually your chance to shine and show your interest in the company. Asking the right questions can help you stand out from other candidates. According to a study by JobVite, candidates who ask insightful questions are seen as more engaged and thoughtful. But here's the key: don't just ask generic questions like, "What's the salary?" or "What are the benefits?" These questions might show you're interested, but they don't demonstrate your knowledge about the company or your long-term vision. Instead, use this opportunity to show you've done your homework. A great question to ask is, "What do you love most about working here?" This not only shows your interest in the company culture, but it also gives the interviewer a chance to speak positively about their workplace, which can make them more favorable towards you. Research from Gallup shows that employees who feel connected to their company's culture are more likely to be productive and engaged. Another powerful question is, what's the biggest challenge the team is facing right now? This shows you're thinking about the role in the context of the company's current needs. It also allows you to demonstrate how your skills can help solve those challenges. A strong follow-up question could be, how does the company support professional growth and development? According to LinkedIn's Global Talent Trends report, 94% of employees would stay longer at a company if there were opportunities to learn and grow. By asking about development opportunities, you show that you're thinking about your future within the company and that you're committed to growing alongside the organization. Don't forget to ask about the next steps in the hiring process. This shows your interest and gives you a clear idea of when to expect feedback. It also gives the interviewer a chance to provide more insight into the timeline. Asking the right questions isn't just a way to impress the interviewer, it's also an opportunity to find out if the company is the right fit for you. So, approach this part of the interview with care. The questions you ask can be just as important as the answers you give. Chapter 6, Follow-up Frenzy, the hidden secret to landing the job. You've aced the interview, and you're feeling good, but your work isn't done yet. The follow-up after an interview can be a game changer in landing the job. In fact, research from Career Builder found that 22% of hiring managers are less likely to hire someone who doesn't follow up after an interview. The most important step in your follow-up process is to send a thank you email. But don't just send a generic message. Make it personal. Refer to specific points from your conversation, highlight your enthusiasm for the position, and express gratitude for their time. According to a study by Top Resume, candidates who send personalized thank you emails are 42% more likely to get hired than those who don't. Timing is also crucial. Send your thank you email within 24 hours of the interview. This shows promptness and respect for the interviewer's time. In your message, reinforce your key strengths, and remind them why you're the right fit for the role. Keep it short and professional, no need to over-explain. If you're feeling particularly bold, you could follow up with an additional email a week after the interview. This could be a subtle reminder of your interest in the role. But be careful not to sound desperate. Keep the tone friendly and polite, and express your excitement without being pushy. One of the most effective follow-up strategies is to connect on LinkedIn. Sending a personalized connection request shows professionalism and gives you an opportunity to stay on the hiring manager's radar. Research by JobVite shows that candidates who connect on LinkedIn are more likely to get the job offer, especially if they can continue to build rapport. In your follow-up, make sure to reiterate your alignment with the company's values. Research from Glassdoor suggests that candidates who emphasize how they fit within the company culture during follow-up are more likely to be hired. This shows you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for the right job. Ultimately, the follow-up isn't just about thanking them. It's about reinforcing your suitability for the role and staying top of mind. A well-crafted follow-up message can keep your candidacy in the spotlight and increase your chances of landing the position. Don't forget to subscribe to get more tips and strategies for acing your next job interview.